with these institutions when they were strong here in the 90s and up to 2000s, some years they are in before Nyayo exited.
I know.
These people come with a tailor-made program where they even put their conditionalities. Right now, I suspect highly that these subsidies that are disappearing is part of the conditionalities for them now to fund, so that you can access the money they are giving you. Toa linda mama, toa subsidy ya school fees, toa subsidy ya chakula, toa subsidy ya fuel, so that you can be able maybe to pay us. We must come to a country where we know when we give our money will be repaying. I'll not be surprised very soon they're giving other conditions that will impact negatively on the Kenyan people.
Let me say something. In 1997, they gave us a condition, and they actually made us fire some people from the civil service, gave them golden handshake. Let me tell you, don't say that they cannot do that. They will do it. They've done it before. Remember what they did? How many people lost their jobs in 1997? So many people. So either, and I read that article, Guru. I read that article. And that article, the conditions that we have been given are the most stringent. And I don't know why we are taking that long. Thank you, Guru.
Yeah, actually,
Alex, let me try to
options wait. What options do we have?
Wait,
options do we have?
Wait, Mr. Guru. Alex, what you've said, actually, it's good that you're bringing in a reference here, 1994, of what happened. But you know, we are in a different time and different circumstances. And now it's no longer all about the West like before. And now it's no longer all about Kanu like it was before. And now tuko kwanza na multipartyism, alafu hii ingine ni kuwa there is China, there is Russia, there is everybody that has interest in Africa. So ukitupatia terms zenye zinakuwa ni kama not, it's painful for us to swallow. We just switch allegiance to the other side. Na tunaendelea vizuri.
No, what I'm saying, if we take it, what I'm saying, if we make a mistake and take it.
And and with those conditions, I think Kenya will be done.
Pogom, let me tell you, the IMF, World Bank loans are mostly taken for stabilization of the economy. In most cases, they have to do with forex. Maybe Alex will tell us here. He looks a bit more on the knowledge upon this. They're actually the bitter pill of a country that is seriously aiding. So that's why you never saw a lot of that during Kibaki's time, because we were more or less quite stable on ourselves and the kind of partners we had at that time. So the economy never got to a point where we needed an injection, from the IMF and the World Bank. These people come like Shyrocks. They come to administer that medicine when the economy is tottering on the brink. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. Mostly it has to do with forex. Mostly it has to do with forex inflows. Accounting gets to a point where maybe they have started getting shortage of forex. Therefore, trade becomes a big problem. So I'm not very well versed in it, but I just have a basic understanding of the economics. Maybe there is an economist here can tell us a bit more. But I know that World Bank comes in when a country is in serious economic problems, especially in terms of its day-to-day running.
Why didn't they come during the Uhuru's government?
It means it seems
Uhuru was in the east because he knew that the projects that he wanted to do, IMF was not going to control him.
Exactly, that's my point. Yakuwa, this thing is not like before. Unajua kitambo walikuwa wanatu untwist like wakati ya Moi. Saizi lazima watu sweet talk because we have so many options. Mpaka options kama ya Magufuli. We have so many options. We are so kidogo tuko walk. But now
what option?
What about if you go to East? Even what about what is Mugabe doing in Zimbabwe? What did they walimpeleka wapi?
Nowhere.
Nothing.
Lakini uliona uchumi iliporomoka kiasi kwamba they had to denominate their economy and use the dollar. In Zimbabwe, you use the American dollar, which is not was not available. So what happens with the loans given to us by World Bank and IMF are more to stabilize the economy that is tottering on the brink, and I think that's where we are right now. Actually, it is a bitter pill. It's a very bitter pill that you have to swallow. Otherwise, you go south.
Remember the time when Raila was being asked about loans zenye tuko nazo ambazo zimekuwa ni unnecessarily too high, na alikuwa anauliza how he is going to deal with it, na alikuwa anasema tutaenda ku reconsider na tutaenda kuangalia kureschedule hizo loan so that either tuziconsolidate na tutafute mtu mwenye ako na softer terms ama tutafute as in kuna
Go on. It's okay. Go on.
Yeah. So it's not like at here two na options. Na hata hivyo it's like China were on our throats. It's not like they were not ready to negotiate. We were just doing so fine. And back then, until this government came in, IMF was mute. But now they have their puppet. They have to make to look like they're doing something right.
What do they want from us? What do they want? What wanataka nini?
Si wanataka kuonekana ni kama wako wanatusaidia.
No, Pogon, let me tell you. Pogon, let me remind you something.
Yeah.
Pogon, let me remind you something. The Ruto government is in a borrowing spree. Okay?
True. Yep.
So it's not like we have an option like Uhuru's government. They used to get loans that are affordable and you are not given conditions. Ruto will borrow from anywhere because they are in a borrowing. In less than 100 days, we have already borrowed almost 500 million.
Almost over.
So
it's
billions.
I'm sorry. So what I'm telling you, it's not like it's option that Ruto is looking for better option. They want those loans by force. Whether they have the highest interests, they don't care.
Now, I must point out here, and maybe Alex, we have to look for an economist maybe here to explain to us maybe in the next forum. The IMF World Bank loans are mostly taken when a country is in an emergency situation, kind of, where the forex are not the forex kind of situation is not stable enough to assure that country day-to-day kind of learning. There are those who have asked here whether Uhuru had gone for it. Yes, they started coming, but you see now here is where the confidence of a government comes in, because when you have a country that is confident and others are also confident, even the leaders take you that way. But when you have a country that is you even do not know what form it is taking, where it is going, like is the case right now, it is difficult. And then again, don't also forget that a country is driven by the confidence that also others have, especially the leaders have towards you. It is easy, like Baba said, to approach those we owe like China. We sit down with them, we restructure the loans that we were to pay in 30 years, maybe we pay in 50 years. But you see also, China has to have confidence in us that what we are trying to do is viable, and they have confidence that we will pay. But when they don't have, they can refuse. It's not a must. You can't force them to restructure
Guru, let me tell you what China does. China,
Yes.
When you borrow from China, they will bring their own contractors to work on those projects. And you must give them collateral. For instance, our port is at the collateral for some of the loans that we took. Okay? So when we borrow from China, it's easy because they come, they do the job, you give them the collateral. And that's why they give you money easily. But IMF, it's different. And that's why they were giving those conditions, because they came to realize they give you money and then you loot it and then you are not able to pay it. Now they have started giving conditions. But China, they will bring their contractors, you will give them collateral, and that's why it's easy to borrow from China.
I have understood you. The approach to payment of loans is very different. Right now, World Bank want to, they can dictate policies that will make sure that their money is paid. But China, they take a collateral. That's the way I've understood it. Right now, World Bank can come and say, okay, you have 300,000 workers. Shed off 100,000, and what was being used for their remuneration and the rest is part of the payment that we expect from you. That kind of thing. Or increase the VAT on the fuel. And they have calculated the liters that you consume every day, every month, every year. And you see that if we put at least maybe 40 shillings per liter, we are able to pay ourselves in the next maybe 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know. That's the way I understand it.
And you are correct. And you are correct. Previously, IMF and World Bank, when they used to give you loans, it was for paying civil servants mostly. And that's why they used to force you to restructure your civil service. But nowadays, they will give you loans for projects. Okay? That's why now they are giving you those conditions. And I don't know why they are taking those loans for those conditions. But anyway, the Ruto government is in a borrowing spree. Pogon, it's not like we need a solution. They will borrow from China. They will go IMF. They have borrowed from was it South Korea? They are borrowing from everywhere. Even if they find Uganda is giving them money, they will borrow even from Uganda.
Alex, the first loan they took was of 366 billion from bank owned Afri something. Then they went for 122 billion from Korea, South Korea. Then they are now looking for 92 billion from IMF. They have also borrowed some 57 or so from World Bank. I don't know. That's a kind of rundown within 100 days. The kind of borrowing that has been going on.
I want to go to Ndeto, but you people, Alex and Guru and Pagon and PK, Mutembei, after this, why are they borrowing? Why are they running to Alex? When you wanafunga, it's like it's a thief snatching something from somebody. Ni kama nakufa kesho. I mean, after Ndeto and Guru, I know there is a long discussion. Ndeto doesn't make it.
But they say they inherited a dilapidated.
No. I want to give you time to tell me that. Let me give Ndeto time. Ndeto karibu.
Kabla Ndeto ungepatia kwanza Stone PK, hebu tusikie penye akili ya Stone PK.
Stone, I'm about to kick him out. He's not with us. He's ameingia UDA.
Na uambia Alex atoke kwa pasia. Tunataka kuona hiyo uso.
Ako ndani ya ndege. A fake aeroplane. Ndeto karibu.
hiyo ni ndege gani inakuwaga na nini na wifi? Anyway, sawa.
Ile ya Kajiado.
I'm messing with you, brother. You know, 2000 in 2021, the Kenyan GDP was 110.3 billion. 2022, and this is still just because it's 2022. Don't think that is Ruto's time, because Ruto's GDP will come next year. In 2022, it was 116.42 billion, and this is USD, US dollars, billion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is way more than the country can sustain itself, because we're talking about trillions. When you talk about 100 and mwenye akona calculator kama kuna mtu ameshika, so in 2021 was 110.3 billion USD. That was the USD at the close of the economic calendar. Then the next year, which is now the close of what is 2022, 116.42 USD billion. That's the that's the GDP of our country. There's something that Uhuru did that was so good. And I keep on saying the infrastructure. He focused on the infrastructure. Why did between those 2 years of the GDP go from, move up so drastically? And when you look at the graph, it goes exponential real quick. Why? And I believe that was the time that the infrastructure happens. This thing that Ruto is taking us through, I can almost bet you we're about to either get a plateau on what we get on what you call a scale plateau, or a drop. Because our country, the way inaenda maliko saizi, is being run, and you cannot run a country as a macro or even a micro business. What we have a government that is running our country as either macro or micro business. They think it's a business, and it's not a business, because the reason I can tell you it's not a business is because every time you have your VAT, people who are employed in Kenya, their taxes are taken out on their salaries. Watu wajuagi kama zinatokaga. And still, when you go buy, ukienda kubai kakitu kako tu pale hivyo, ama uende kubai your shopping, you've already also paid taxes. And now, anything that you do on the road, nakumbuka kuna zile karawa na kushika tu hivi, you're paying taxes. So it's not a business. You need to be someone who really runs the company, and not even run the company, manages the taxes that the people pay, because it's not a profitable country. You're not making profit or whatever is what you do. And that's the problem that we have with this government that we have, because they think it's a place to make money. And if you have a country that makes money, that the president wants to make money out of the country, Guru, there will be a problem. But
Yes.
if you're a president that actually manages the taxes of the people, then you will have a country that you can actually make a good country. But if you want to play it as a business, then you will have a problem, first of all, with the citizenry, because you will need them to give more capital of everything that you're thinking. and is the reason that 25 shillings out of the 500 of Hustler Fund is going to the government, which is already taking your taxes. This is your tax. Guru, nimekuja nikakukopa, please nisaidie 500. Ukanipatia 500. Alafu nichukue 25 kwa hiyo 500 yenye hiyo 500. Tuchukue hiyo 500 kwanza nikwambie wewe, anyway, shika ndio hii na nini? Hii kwanza na kusevia, utaitoa wapi? So the reason I'm coming out from that kind of perspective is that we have someone who's trying to run the government from a money-making kind of what we call a Ponzi scheme, a scheme, and you're making scheme with actually with money that you don't have. That money, you're getting it from the same person that you're trying to Ponzi scheme them. Then there becomes a problem right there. That's why we've forgotten about our highways, about our infrastructures, about our everything. And that's why we're taking even fertilizer that we've been given for free from countries that are fighting because they don't have anywhere to take it. Then they give you for free, and then you come back and then start selling it to people. We're on a trajectory of a downfall. That's where we are, because there's money making and everyone wants to make money. And unless we start understanding what leadership is, what Kenyatta, what Moi in his first times kabla the coup na anze kuwa nini anaogopa, what Kibaki was, what they were doing, understanding that they are leaders of a country and the citizenry is the one that pays for everything. If we don't go back there and we let this guy who wants to do business with our country and our money and our taxes, we are headed for a downfall. And by the time we get to that downfall, hatutajua nini itakuwa imetugonga. And I believe that's the reason I'm starting now to understand where Uhuru was coming from when Uhuru was kicking him out of the government. And Uhuru said it. 3 months. Tumegonga sasa. He said mutalia. I think, Mr. Guru, I have been in this country for a long time. I'm not a young person. But I don't believe since I was born, and even in the 80s, and I did live my childhood in the 80s, I have never seen a government that just comes in and within the first 100 days, everybody is talking haywire. Uku kule kule wakanugus, everyone talking hivi kule and whatever. I have never seen. This is the first government that I'm seeing people complaining about the economic structure, political structure, and everything, even their political structure. Yani kila kitu tu people are talking about so many things within the first 100 days. Even people living outside the country that can see inside the country. When, Mr. Guru, I know you've been living for a long time. Which government have you seen that comes into power now within the first 100 days? People are talking about the economical structure and how it's not working, and their political and geopolitical structure that is not working. Even the gender equality, everything. I mean, in parliament now we are talking about things that don't even make any sense. Within 100 days. Hiyo kitu watu ngoja mpaka huko mwisho bwana, tukienda kumaliza before before the regime is over. That's when it happens. 100 days. People are talking. Guru, tell me if I'm wrong. And everybody, even I see Richie is here. Richie hata utuambie ni gani ushaiona within 100 days. Hata ya Uhuru, hata ile ya kwanza ya wote wawili. And we knew that was ICC problem. But we only spoke about ICC. We didn't speak about our geopolitical, economical, situations like that. In fact, people are starting to learn how, taxes are done. Watu wako wanajuaga venye taxes inafanyikaga. This is the first time. So, are we on the right track or are we on the wrong track? And that is what I'm going to ask every panelist that is here to tell us if really we're on the right track. Thank you, Julia.
Bado niko na swali kuu. The people who are here, I want you people to, when you get your chance, to tell me, where is this government running to? I mean, ni kama ni kupora. Kwa nini ni kama wanakopa, ni kama kesho wataishi Nguru? If they look forward to being in presidency for the next 20 years because Gachagua hopes to be president, how will he pay? How will he manage the economy? That is what, unless they are planning to take off tomorrow and seek refugee status in Korea or something.
Correction, 20 years, not 10 years.
Yes, 20 years. I mean, we expect to see Gachagua Ruto presidency, then the Gachagua presidency. Then I think they are saying they are going to take back to somebody else. So I'm not spelling doom to Kenya. But tell me, if they are mismanaging the economy like this, they are borrowing so much, how are they going to pay? If they are planning to pay, when are they going to pay? Or are they planning to run away after some time? But with those questions, there are people we have new people who have joined us. Good to see you, Richie. Umetupotelea sana, ni kama ulienda kwa, sijui kama uliingia KKA, utatuelezea baadaye. Lakini Rhoda, are you there? Rhoda, I allowed you, but I think you are asleep.
Yes, sorry. I'm sorry. It's my internet was broken. My internet was not working. Sometimes it's slow, but I just want to say hi to everyone. Good morning. It's really hurt me when people from Azimio, we always accept propaganda, say that the former president Uhuru Kenyatta was supporting this guy Ruto. Absolutely, that's not true. I will never believe that. Absolutely not. If Uhuru was supporting Ruto, Ruto could not go the way he is going, like in Western country. Uhuru was not in Western. He didn't like Western people. They were respecting Uhuru. I mean, he could not accept them because he wanted Uhuru love his own country, and he didn't accept with people from Western. He respect them. They were working together. For example, in America, they working together with Kenya because America, they believe that Kenya, they value Kenya democracy. Remember what happened in 1998 in bomb blast, and it was America ambassador was supposed to be killed. So America, that's why we are very, very, very close to Kenya, and that's why they were respecting in the Jubilee government in America, but they were not. Even when you see this woman was working ambassador, she was respecting Kenya. She was saying that we work together because we have the same value, democracy. Why comes when Ruto came, immediately didn't change? That woman, even the ambassador who live in Kenya, she changed. She was not like the way they're going to the Harabi house, jumping and there, and it's not the same shit. Even the ambassador who work in Kenya, they were not behaving like the way they are behaving. They were respecting our country. They were going to the state house for the reason. But now they're jumping everywhere, and that's not the way things work. Why in America? Or because America is a big country, there is a lot of ambassadors work in America. When they go to America, they respect America. Ambassador is everywhere. Even here, we have a Kenya embassy here in this country, and Kenya embassy, they respect this country a lot. They work together. some stuff. Kenya, Kenya is open to work together with whole world. But the ambassador respect. We have met ambassador. He respect the law of this country. He cannot say that, oh, I want to start to Kenya. I want Kenya to take over this country. We cannot take over. Every country must be respected. That's not fair. So I don't believe Uhuru was supporting. I will never accept that. That is, Axibio, we need to stop that propaganda. This guy have been abusing Uhuru a lot, abusing him. We saw even when he was doing his ceremony, how they abused him. They were saying bad thing about him. Even they didn't invite him the dinner state house. Even Ruto removed him the house. Who have a house close to the state house? He remove him and he take him in the village, Isaweri. Uhuru is say there, Isaweri with his family. And Uhuru is a multiple billionaire. If he doesn't abuse, if they were talking, he could not tell him go and live in Isaweri. Uhuru was supposed to live a good house there with his family. A beautiful house he built there. But he was planning to live there with his own family. But Ruto, he removed him there. So I don't believe that Uhuru was supporting. I will never support. If he was supporting, could not tell him to go to live in somebody. And he could not give him the job working in the villages to bring peace in Congo. No. If he was supporting, Uhuru could work a good job in the United Nations, something like that. Because Uhuru is somebody, Uhuru, he was a respected whole world. How he was represented for the Kenya, how he was represented, how he talked in the United Nations. He was very, very, everybody used to value him. And everybody say he is smart. Many people, they say Uhuru was very smart because he was not accepted anything from Western. And he know them, they were respecting one another. So I'll never accept that Uhuru was supporting Ruto. They were different. But the way Uhuru he did mistake, he could not allow, he could put Chebukati in the jail immediately because Chebukati did bad in our election. And that actually, I don't know what he was doing. I was very embarrassing when I saw the police and he was a commander of chief. The police was coming in that place and beat our own people. As they have been hurt, beaten. So we must speak. Me, I'll always speak the truth. I'm not always using propaganda or go this way to fight the way. No, we need to write the right, especially us as me. We must write to the darkness. We win this darkness. We cannot accept that. Absolutely not. We must say no and no. So we know Ruto, he hate our country. He hate the Kenyatta family. That's something I knew. He hate Kenya. He's selling our country to America. He have been already started to sell even Kenya Airways to America. I don't know which country they are selling. So Kenya people, we need to stand up. Either we go to do a demonstration to the America bus in Kenya. We tell them we don't want. Let me tell you, there's a time you say everything lost. We can say if our country, we want to have a war, we can have a war. We can, if we want to be a country like Mali, we can. Why not? There's a time you say everything. There's no, yeah. Sisi wote tunachukua mapanga, tunafukuza wote. We say now is ambassador. No, unaona siku ile Kenya ingekuwa na wa ambassador wote wanapotea. Because they know. They fear African. They know. You see how they were fearing Idi Amin. Idi Amin, we used to tell these white people, I'm a British Airways. Because they know that Africa, we are fire. I didn't accept everything with Idi Amin. But white people, they fear him. They were saying, yes, sir. He was saying that, no, I'll not. And he killed a lot of Jewish. He didn't accept them. So we want people like Idi Amin strong in Kenya who say no. They go back to their country. We will not accept them the way Ruto is selling our country. And yeah, we must stand still. We say no. No, 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 no. It's better tuseme hakuna, tuseme war. Tuchukue mapanga sisi watu tuseme hatutaitikia nchi yetu ichukuliwe na Amerika. Asante.
No. Let me correct my sister Rhoda. We don't have to go those directions. In fact, if you read our constitution very well, if there is a constitution that can get us to get the way out of the problems we have, is this one. It leaves an opportunity for the common people to represent themselves. If their leaders do not represent their interests, they have avenues to represent themselves. And therein lies the strength of the Kenyan people. So it is very easy, even up to today, to sign up a motion, take the necessary steps. I know there is also that contention issue of who will do it, because the bodies that are supposed to facilitate that, like IEBC, are now very weak. I don't even know whether they exist. But avenues were provided for us to make changes as we want them, as a common people. Today, Rhoda, you can float a motion in Kenya, take the signatures of the required number of people, give it to IBC, and force a referendum on certain issues. So I think we have a fairly good chance. The only problem I see here is that we have people who want to compromise the systems to a level where we cannot be able to change the way we want, or become helpless. Right now, look at somebody like Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga, at his personal level, as a political personality, has the capability of mobilization of the people so that they can ask for changes that we require through the constitutional means, because he's got the political wherewithal. And I think Kenyans, once they identify there is a problem, they normally have courage to say this is what we want. That has been demonstrated many times. So we do not have to destroy the country or take extreme measures that can even bring more pain. This is a decent country. We gave ourselves a constitution, and even now we can force the government through constitutional means to do what we want. We can rewrite even the whole constitution if we want. I don't know whether you know that. Today, if somebody, you have seen decisions even by the president in the past, I don't know whether it can happen now, decisions being overturned. Even decisions made in parliament, somebody goes to court and says this is unconstitutional. The court looks at it and pronounces itself on the matter. So therefore, it is what is lacking right now in Kenya is our committed readers of the rights of Matiba, of Rupia, of Raila Amolo Odinga, of Anyona, and the rest, so that they can drive the changes that Kenyans we want to see. They brought changes at a very difficult time when there was no such avenues, but now the avenues are there. It's only that you are not using them. It's not that we don't want to use them, or we quickly accept to be manipulated, to seem to be helpless, simply because a few leaders stole elections and then got themselves into MPs and whatever. But the power belongs to the people. That is the bottom line of our constitution, and that's it. I don't know whether this is the thinking that could come with the time. We wait to see, but somebody has to take the steps. Somebody has to take those steps.
Yes,
yeah.
And the person could be you. So Makiadi, karibu, umetupotelea sana.
Nasikika kweli niko. Can you hear me?
Yes, Makiadi, we can hear you.
Sawa, habari yako Julia? Na
mimi sikusikii Makiadi. Ongea kwa sauti.
Nani huyo anaongea huyo?
Ongea kwa sauti, sikusikii.
I don't know where Alex is.
Huyo
He's
anaongea
in
ni nani huyo?
some hole somewhere. But he's Alex.
Oh, that is Alex Media. Najua onekani bwana. We can only identify your face from the voice. But wacha niwasalimie wote. Stone PK naona yuko busy hapo. Kenyan with love, Alex, Guru, Pogon, good to see you, Naroda. Mimi nimekuwa nimepotea, lakini I was trying to work hard ndio at least nipate vacation time kidogo. Julia, sina ubaya, I'm still here. Sometimes I get time to watch the show. Saa ingine inakuwa ni ngumu sababu unajua wengine wetu tuko na tatizo kidogo. Tusipofanya kazi kwa bidii hatutapatiwa nafasi ya kupumzika. Mimi kwanza ningependa kukosoa dada yangu Roda. Yale maneno amenena hapo ya kuchukua panga, hiyo lugha ni hatari sana. And we do not want to seem like we are running incitement show here. So some words we should at least try as much as possible to avoid using in a forum like this, because we know we have had people who have been charged with international crimes for using such words. So tafadhali, it is sometimes wise not to kwenda kwa hiyo line tena. So that is just by the way. I was listening to the issue about Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, and I think my brother here, Pogon, explained it very well, and I want to agree with him. We are blaming Uhuru Kenyatta for nothing. We are blaming Uhuru Kenyatta for nothing kabisa. Uhuru Kenyatta alikuwa ni president wa jina. Uhuru Kenyatta did not do anything out of his powers to try and support Raila Odinga's candidacy. He campaigned for him openly. He declared that he supports Raila Odinga's candidature. What I can say today here with surety is that this government had already been taken over. The Jubilee government was not run from State House. That is one thing I've come to realize here. Sometimes we put a lot of blame on Uhuru Kenyatta, and in truth and sense is that Uhuru Kenyatta did not have any powers, probably. He was just a CNC by name, but all the people under him were already captured. All the people. Even when you listen to what Babu Owino was saying about telling Kibicho to arrest Chebukati. Kibicho had the powers to arrest Chebukati. If the election was being stolen in a rogue manner or in a rogue way, the way we want to believe it was stolen, then the people who had power would have used a rogue way to make sure that the person they supported was announced the winner, but they decided not to. Why? The reason is because they know why they did that. And so Uhuru Kenyatta wakati alienda nyumbani, I think hata sisi, unajua sometimes we come here na tunalia kwamba we did not do our best, labda tulisema tuko na State House, sijui tuko na deep state. The truth is, deep state was not residence at State House. Ile deep state yenye tulikuwa tunasikia ikitajwa kila siku si ile deep state yenye inafanyanga kazi. Ile deep state yenye tulikuwa tunajidai nayo ni ile deep state ya jina peke yake. This government was captured a long time ago. And sometimes it is very painful to see, because I have seen elections in African countries whereby the president uses each and every means possible to make sure that he is announced and he legitimately gets that position. It doesn't matter ile njia yenye anatumia, as long as, and we said here ile siku, as long as the chairman wa IEBC atatangaza William Ruto kama president, that thing is gone. We said here, hata wakati ulikuwa unasema hapana tuende kotini sijui nini, that thing was gone. Once the IEBC anasema ni Stone PK ndiye ameshinda uchaguzi, hiyo story imeisha namna hiyo. Hata uende wapi, uruke wapi, because all the rest ni kucompromise tu. And that is what William Ruto did. He made sure that the IEBC chairman Chebukati yako kwa mfuko yake, na akamtangaza kiongozi. The rest was just to rubber stamp. Hawa watu wengine ma Supreme Court judge, all you need to do is to promise them ya kwamba utafund the judiciary and employ more judges. You are done. They will do whatever you want. When it comes to the police, capture the IG, make sure you tell him ukijaribu kufanya namna hii hata kazi nitakufuta na nitakuweka ndani, because already nimechukua uchaguzi. He's compromised. And it was done like that, clean. So sisi wakati tunakuja hapa tunalaumu Uhuru Kenyatta, maybe Uhuru Kenyatta was even aliona uchungu zaidi hata kutushinda, but that thing was gone a long time ago. Na tumekuja kugundua juzi tu that there was some money to an extent of 12 billion shillings, 12 billion shillings ambayo ilikuwa pumped into the IEBC that was not budgeted for. The IEBC received close to around 42 billion Kenyan shillings from the Kenyan government. It had budgeted for 41, I think, but it was given 42 billion by the Jubilee administration. On top of the 42 billion, it went ahead and received 12 billion shillings from the international, so-called international community. Hiyo pesa ilienda wapi? Hatujawai jiuliza hiyo pesa ilienda wapi. We have seen Chebukati ana print makaratasi double copy, sijui form 32B, ako na set A na set B. Unashangaa hizo pesa zilitoka wapi? And finally, those people that sponsored the elections are now running around the country, you know, in the towns they give us with IMF and the ambassadors wako all over the place. Vile Roda amesema, I mean, it's like the ambassadors of Britain, ambassador, I mean, UK commissioner to Kenya, and the US ambassador are running the show in Kenya. You can see them all over the place, making decisions, you know, talking about policy issues in the country. But we have nothing to say. Why? Because they know that they got what they wanted. They got their interest in the country. And Julia, let me tell you here, before even I forgot, I wanted to show this. Kama itaonekana. Unaona hiyo kwa screen. That is the star. It says that Wafula Chebukati has been named Person of the Year 2022. Yeah? Person of the Year 2022. So hii kitu ilikuwa imepangwa kitambo. I was listening to Archbishop wa ACK, Stone PK, sijui kama umeona hii ama imekupita. Angalia tena kwa mara ya pili ndio usiseme siku iweka hapa ukaona. So Wafula Chebukati 61.
Thank you very much. Teremusha alafu unipe muda.
Huyo ndio sasa Person of the Year mwenye tumepata. Wafula Chebukati is the Person of the Year 2022. He has been praised, he has been commended by everybody. Amepatiwa mpaka OGW na president kwa sababu ile kazi yenye alifanya hakuna mwanaume mwingine amewahi fanya Kenya mzima. But we are also forgetting ya kwamba kulikuwa na mtu alikuwa anaitwa Kivuitu hapo. Wafula Chebukati is still following the same trend yenye Kivuitu alifanya. And these things, sijui ni Guru ama ni nani ama ni Pogona ama ni nani alikuwa anaongea juu. Na akasema this person has learned from history. William Ruto amekuwa wakati wa Kibaki, wa Moi, aliona vile uchaguzi inashindwa. Wakati wa Kibaki akaona vile mtu anaapishwa saa 1 saa 2 ya usiku, akajua ya kwamba the only thing you have to do to become a president is capture the IEBC. Once you receive your certificate namna hii, that's it. Wale watu wengine watafollow tu nyuma namna hiyo. And that is what he did with this election. Now, with the Kenyan election, the thing is, once you become a president, you do not have to be voted by everybody or the majority of the country. But then, once you become the president to capture power, sasa unaanza kutembelea hao. Kila siku, enda Western Mali wako kupigia kura, enda Mombasa. You are trying to buy legitimacy sasa. Unajaribu kuleta urafiki na kuwapelekea goodies. Nitawajengea bandari, nitawaletea barabara. You know, unabembeleza watu na hiyo vitu inaitwa presidential goodies. Halafu politicians wote kwa sababu ni watu ya njaa, utaona wote kama wale watu tuliona hapa Western juzi wakikufuata, because wanasema sisi bila serikali hatuna maendeleo kwetu, so they start following you. Na hiyo ndio kitu Ruto anafanya saa hii. He is no longer interested na kuenda you know, ukiangalia zile trips zenye ameenda Mount Kenya ni kwenda maombi. Trips zenye ameenda Rift Valley ni kwenda maombi na Thanksgiving. Akienda mahali kama Mombasa huko anaenda ku launch project. Akienda Western huko ana launch 3 projects or 4 projects in a day. Kujipendekeza ndio ukubalike, jipendekeze ukubalike kwa watu, and that is what he's doing right now. So tuache kulia sana. Hii Kamwana alifanya ile kitu aliweza, lakini vile tulikuwa tunasikia alikuwa karibu apigwe kofi siku nyingine. Nimekubali. Hii kitu ilikuwa imepangwa kitambo sana, na huyu jamaa mwenye kupanga alikuwa make sure ya kwamba ameshika kile mtu ambaye ako katika sehemu ambayo ni ya maana kwa hiyo serikali, mtu ambaye atamsaidia kuinfluence kupata hiyo kiti, na akapata. So now it comes down to, is he able to manage the country with the support that he has and trying to fight for legitimacy? Is he able to manage the country? Shida yenye iko kubwa saa hii ni kukopa madeni, na tulikuwa na hii argument siku nyingine hapa juzi na rafiki yangu Black, nikampigia breakdown ya zile pesa ambazo zimekopwa na nchi ya serikali ya Kenya saa hii. Nikamueleza kitu ya kwanza, Korea, South Korea, William Ruto alienda akakopeshwa 122 billion Kenyan shillings. B with a B, 122 billion. Afrexim Bank ikampatia 366 billion. World Bank ikampatia 92 billion. IMF imempatia closely to around 390 something billion Kenyan shillings. So within 3 months we have a total of 1 point something trillion mkopo. Miezi 3 peke yake, 100 days, 1 point something trillion. And one thing you should know about William Ruto ni kwamba William Ruto is very smart at playing kitu inaitwa reverse psychology. He will tell you what he doesn't mean. Wakati alikuwa anaingilia Uhuru Kenyatta kwa sababu ya kukopa madeni, at the back of his mind alikuwa anajua kwamba serikali yao hiwezi endelea bila kukopa. And that is what he is doing right now. And Guru, you have your concerns whether we will be able to pay this money or not. William Ruto does not care. Hata hizo conditions zenye Guru ulikuwa unaongea juu yake ya kwamba ati sijui associates, hawa watu ni wale watu ambao walikuwa naweka pesa kwa magunia, kwa manyumba. They had bedrooms zenye zimejaa pesa, mpaka Uhuru Kenyatta akaamua kubadilisha sarafu. Ndio hizi pesa unakuta siku hizi tunakutana nazo kwa internet. Mtu ako na kibunda layers ya pesa iko kwa bedroom, ajua atafanyia nini. These are people you think care. They don't care. They will borrow as much as wako na mtu ambaye anataka kuwapatia pesa, wataomba hizo pesa. Kulipa si shida yao, kulipa ni wewe mwenyewe. And let me give you a difference between what we are seeing with the IMF. The IMF will not come for a collateral kama port ya Mombasa. Haitafanya kazi kama namna hiyo. Hiyo ni kazi ya China, because China inaweza chukua hiyo port na Iran hiyo port for some few years, maybe 40 or 50 years, ijaribu kujilipa pesa yake. IMF haitafanya kazi kama hiyo. IMF itajaribu kuhakikisha ya kwamba wewe mwenye kukopa pesa una collect enough revenue ya kuwalipa. That is what the IMF does. So IMF will not bring receiver managers wakuje kusema ulikopa pesa yetu so tunataka uturudishie pesa yetu. Hiyo si kazi ya IMF. IMF inataka kuonyesha kwamba you cannot default kwa zile loan zenye ulikopa kutoka kwao. What does the IMF do? The IMF said toa subsidies ya mafuta, toa subsidies ya unga, toa subsidies ya power, toa hizo vitu zote so that ukusanye a lot of money kutoka kwa mwananchi. The IMF does not care about the common mwananchi. It wants common mwananchi afinywe kabisa, alipe taxes ndio waweze kurecover pesa zao. That is how they revive economies. But they do not care about your port. Hiyo mambo ya port, hiyo ni mambo ya China. Hiyo ndio kazi China itakuwa inafanya. So IMF imepeana hizo pesa zake zote, lakini you can see the conditions. Conditions zao ni toa subsidies. And it is very clear. They said they do not want subsidies on fuel so that they can be able to recover their money. That is one condition they have set. And William Ruto does not care about you. ati atakupunguzia subsidies, ununue subsidies ya mafuta, ununue mafuta bei rahisi, ati ndio ufurahie kama mwananchi hustler, na huku kuna mtu ambaye anataka kufund his government. William Ruto is a very ambitious guy, but Kenya does not follow his ambitions. We are at a very brittle state right now. Hatuna pesa. What we need to do is we need to deal with what we have. Tunafaa kukula ile chakula kidogo tuko naye. But with a person who is promising building 1,000 dams in 1 year, planting sijui ni 19 billion trees in 5 years, kupatia watoto pampers wenye wanazaliwa mpaka wafikishe 3 months old, we cannot sustain this ambition ya Ruto. Ruto's ambition, I was reading the budget, it says, it was on the Standard, it says, brace for higher taxes to fund the 3.6 trillion budget. That is the budget that is going. The budget that is coming up with this government inasema ya kwamba Treasury's budget review and outlook paper reveals President William Ruto will oversee the biggest budget in the country's history, and to finance it, it will have to borrow heavily and increase taxation. That is what the Standard says. Now listen to where this money is coming from. Treasury says it will bridge the 695.2 billion budget deficit by borrowing from the domestic market. What will it borrow from the domestic market? It will borrow 496.6 billion Kenyan shillings from the domestic market. And then it will borrow 198.6 billion externally. KRA is expected to collect 2.57 trillion in 2023-2024 financial year, which is about 17% more than the 2.19 trillion it projected to collect over the current financial year. So the issue is more debt and conditions, as IMF is supposed to release about 55 billion. So IMF inaenda kuachilia 55 billion, lakini IMF inasema, can you tax your people highly ndio tulipe pesa zetu? That is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. So mi nataka kusema namna hii nikimalizia hiyo. Our status as a nation financially is bad, ni mbaya. It's bad, ni mbaya kabisa. We can only hope for the best, and maybe the best yenye tuna hope for itatoka kwa kukopa. Now, kama kukopa itatusaidia try to improve our situation, that is something we'll have a discussion about another day. Now, there's this issue yenye tulikuwa tunaongea hapa ya let me see, ndio nisisahau. The Cherera Tribunal. The Cherera Tribunal. Hii Cherera Tribunal is a sham. Hii tribunal ya Cherera nimesikiza. I was listening even to the first person ambaye alikuwa ni petitioner. This guy anaitwa Dennis Idhumbi ama Idhumbi or somebody like that. I have been looking at that guy akitembea from one media station to another, calling himself a political analyst.
Sio tungeacha nani Richie. You are wasting your energy.
No. I have to make this comment, Stone PK. I have to make this comment because I think it is very important to discuss about this. Anyway, it is just a by the way because I had somebody saying here. Hii story Pogon ulikuwa unasema, Pogon alikuwa anaongea story ya hii tribunal. Hii tribunal achana nayo. Hata Stone PK umefanya vizuri kuniambia ni achane nayo. Ndio nikupatie nafasi uongee. This is just a choreographed waste of time. Hakuna kitu itasaidia mtu. This thing has already been predetermined. Hata hii vitu unaona kwa TV kila wakati ni kupotezea watu masaa. But this guy is very interesting because this guy nilikuwa naona nakuja kwa TV station kila wakati akisema yeye ni political analyst. Kidogo he is a security expert. Sijui is a what. Sasa anaulizwa swali moja, wewe unajitanga political security analyst, umeserve kwa jeshi gani? Ati sijui niko certified, sijui the years. Nimekuuliza umeenda umesomea wapi security? Hakuna. Wewe ni reverend, unajiita reverend, ulisomea wapi theology school? anasema yeye amekuwa ordained sijui na bishop nani, sijui ni Bishop Margaret Wanjiru ama ni nani, Julia, sijui kama ulisikia jina. Hao watu wamesomea huku town kwa gorofa huko, wanatoka na majina ngumu reverend nini, na hakuna siku hata walikanyaga theology school. They are all over the place, you know, and that is the person that is being taken as a credible witness, accuser, petitioner ya kutoa
Richie ni zile theological schools inakuwaga juu ya back.
Yeah, vitu kama hizo. Now ndio sasa ati watu wanakuja accuse watu hapo. They are so called credible petitioners. Na wenyewe ni sham. They have nothing legitimate. But that is a story for another day.
Makiadi, don't you then think it is an indictment on our media, especially when you invite somebody to come and give views on certain issues, and you don't even check his background and the training that he has, and the expertise that he has, and the knowledge that he has, and the experience on the area he is commenting on?
Yeah, you are very right, Guru. This guy calls himself a security expert, sijui legal analyst, sijui
That is
nini.
a scam.
It is a scam.
That's a scam. Don't even talk about it.
And
I mean, he couldn't answer any question. I mean, he kept unamuuliza hii question anasema hivi, alafu anaulizwa, we ask you this. He could not answer question directly. None of the question he answered directly. He had to be asked a question 3 times before he can say the truth.
Donald Kipkorir alimtoa nguo mbele ya watu, akaonekana ni mtu bure kabisa. And sasa huyo ndio mtu ambaye alikuwa ati anatarajiwa ako na evidence zaidi ya kuja kutoa the Cherera 4 kwa ofisi. Na yeye mwenyewe kila kitu yake ni scam. Kila kitu.
Richie alikuwa akifanya nini Bomas?
Haya, hiyo sasa labda yeye mwenyewe ajibu. Hiyo mimi siwezi msaidia hapo.
And I did not believe hiyo kitu anasema ati ako na security firms all over Africa. I did not believe that either.
Yeah, so Stone PK, mi sitaki kupoteza wakati wako zaidi, but nataka kumaliza na kusema Guru, nimeona ni kama umefuga kuku, sijui ni ile kuku ya Hustler. Nimesikia ni kama umeingia studio na kuku hapa. Nashangaa kwani Guru ameleta
nimeanza kuchinja kuku.
Umeingia na kuku studio. Shangaa Guru amekuja na kuku studio, ile nilikuwa nasikia inapigwa simu kuulizwa kama imetaga. Back to you, Julia.
Asante Makiadi. Guru is tempting us, and Guru, you have to pay us a fine. You are trying to make us hungry with chicken. Pogon, naomba utoke kwa giza. Alex alituambia sijui kwa wapi. Pogon, naomba utoke kwa giza. The screen is very dark. Pogon, wherever you are, naomba utoke kwa giza. And Makiadi, that was awesome analysis. Yeah, I want to agree with you, like you just said. I don't think Uhuru had the ability to stop whatever was happening. He can't. And we should have known better. We should not even have gone for this election in the first place. So, Stone PK, are you on our side now?
Yes, I am, Madam Julia Mwalimu.
I thought you uliingia KKE sasa ndio kutaka kuongea.
Hapana, nilikuwa na multitask. Thank you.
Ulikuwa unasikiza stories zetu kweli?
Kabisa. I've followed everything. I had 3 issues I was attending to, this being one of the main one because of topic ya leo. Leo tunaenda mpaka kesho kutwa.
Yes, leo juu Makiadi amekuja. Makiadi, chukua ushukani kidogo nikunywe kachai.
Mimi niko hapa, lakini niko na one more day. Kuanzia kesho sasa tutakuwa hapa 24 hours mpaka Christmas.
Sasa niendelee Julia.
Yes, and Makiadi takes over kidogo, naenda kupika kachai narudi.
Haya, kwa hivyo niendelee.
Yes, endelea.
Utupikie sisi wote chai.
Sawa, kachai.
Thank you Julia. Thank you Richie, brother, and Kenyan, Alex, Progon. Let me begin by nianze. Leo nitazungumza Kiswahili juu nilisema lazima tuzungumze the language that people wale tuna intend wanasikiza. Kizungu mingi Kenya nimekuta kumbe ni ya wachache. Richi ume give very good view, ukweli wa mambo. And what has frustrated me so much is when it occurred to me that kumbe wa Kenya tunajidaigi tumeng'amu, yani tumechanuka, ala kumbe tu ni kubahatisha, tunabahatishanga. Yani Mkenya mahali alipo huwa anabahatisha, bahati mzuri ile pingi pingi ponki inamwangukia, alafu anakuambia he has worked very hard. Sorry to say that, I know wengi watakasirika, but the truth of the matter, Richie, sitaki kurudia all what you have said because it was all true, but I want to ile West Africa wanasema, can I buttress my friend that what you said about Uhuru is 150% right. He is the president that Kenyans will regret for life to ever having him in that seat. He's the worst, the most, I don't want to use term ingine mbaya mbovu, but the president who had no clue, he had nothing. Yani Kenya tulikuwa punished the day we accepted him as a president, but it was to the advantage of Ruto. No wonder Ruto would stand anamwambia, wewe ni bure, wewe ni kabisa, wewe ni ng'ombe. Ruto insulted our president mpaka akamuinsult na mamake. Is that a president who was in control? No. I see Kenyan with love raising his hand. But the truth of the matter, and you take a vote, Kenyans will tell you that the worst president we've ever had, worst mean you cannot be a president who has no an iota of control of a country. You give excuse in the constitution. In Africa, you don't give constitution as an excuse. At constitution, imekufunga mikono. Lazima uwe ni nongwe. Mtaani tuko kuita wewe ni nongwe. Wewe ni mdosi. Wewe ndio tumekuchagua, wewe ndio prefect wa Daro. Alafu unasema uwezi andika noise makers. Ati juu the rule is lazima sijui fairness. In Africa, what is fairness? There's nothing like word fairness in Africa. Uhuru was the worst president that the country Kenya has ever had. We will regret the damage we are having today, which will be for so many years. Uhuru is the reason why we have Ruto as the president, who will screw Kenya left, right, center, up and down, and this country is going to disintegrate into what Kenyans are shying away from, because Kenyans sisi ni wajinga. Ati tunasema Kenya iwezi disintegrate. Kenya will be worse than Somalia. Why? Courtesy of Uhuru Kenyatta, a president who had no power because of his, I don't want to use those very strong words. You are just there. Oh, Raila kuja unisaidie turangava. Oh, sijui konini. Oh, that is not a president. I wish he had taken a quarter of his dad's tenacity. He would have managed Kenya. But this guy had nothing. Nothing. And this is a fact. Moi picked him from Uko. Sijui nini. Look at even the way, by the way, you know a leader, even by the way he dresses, by the way he talks, by the people he associates with. If he was picked, put it to Ishaweri, he got 0. He was rejected by his own village to be the MP. Then he was elevated to Kenya Tourism Board, which he had no clue about. He knew nothing about tourism. That time I was in tourism industry. Uhuru as the Kenya KTB board chairman, he would come to the meeting and talk nothing. Just to make him elevated. I want people to analyze Uhuru's speeches since 2013. If you are intelligent, analyze those speeches if they are ever presidential speeches. How can a president talk when you are warning people? Una say, majameni, ndugu zangu. Kuna shida ndugu zangu. Naomba, munisamee. A president, a leader doesn't ask for forgiveness. Who are you asking to forgive you? You are an idiot. You are in your own house. Unatoa rules. wife amekosea, watoto wamekosea, unatoa msomo, from today I don't want A, B, C, D. You see, you've started, I don't want A, B, C, D. Then unaanza kusema, oh, I'm sorry if I've hurt anybody, please, I just want us to have order. You water down the rules and directions and directives that you have given. Number 3, in Africa, you can never be a watermelon president. In Africa, you cannot be, oh, you know, I respect this, I respect that, so please forgive me if I'm a bit harsh. Never. In leadership, don't go giving excuses. Ati umetoa a rule, then you start watering down by saying, I'm sorry if I was a bit harsh, I'm sorry if then you are, what Afrika wanakuchukua wanakusema huyu ni nongwe. Kenyans don't even see Uhuru as a president. Kenyans see Uhuru as a betrayer. Kenyans see Uhuru as the one who has plunged this country into the problems that we are going to have for many years to come. I said this on this TV before elections. People started, those who are supporting Uhuru has brought infrastructure. Uhuru has not brought any infrastructure in this country. That is 2030 vision. Kibaki vision. The strategy iliwekwa siku ya Kibaki. Period. There's nothing that Uhuru has initiated. Uhuru has not initiated anything because he's not a thinker. How can a thinker be celebrating and drinking whiskey when Ruto is stealing elections? It's not possible. You are celebrating huko with the baba. Mnaonyeshwa kwa ranch ya nani ya who? This other idiot called what we call him, the Kotu guy, Tumbo man. Mnakunywa mawiski huko while Ruto is stealing elections, and you are there lying to baba. Oh, tumeshinda elections. Which idiot goes to celebrate before the referee whistles the 90 minutes whistle kusema game imeisha? Kenyans, tuseme ukweli. And I don't want people to start saying that Uhuru played Ruto, played Baba. Uhuru did not play Baba. Uhuru had no capacity to make Baba president because Uhuru never was a president for 10 years. Uhuru was a slave of Ruto. That's the truth. Take it to any bank that you wish can trust you. There's no way a president can be defeated in Africa. Maybe in America and other countries. So watu wasituletee hapa, you know, Uhuru was outsmarted. How? Wewe, Richie and all those of us who are in this panel, how can you be outsmarted in your... Ati wife yako sasa Richie, ati amekuwa outsmarted. Afadhali uchukue kamba ujinyonge, uishie. Ati kuna game wife ameplay, ikakuchukua by surprise. Shit, man. I'll hang myself that very moment and disappear. It's nonsense to say you are outsmarted by your deputy. It's garbage. You are there as a president, your deputy appoints half of the government. He puts his tribesmen. You are there laughing. And then you're asking watu, tutafanya nini? Watu wanaiba 2 billion. Nitadu? As a president? That is when Kenyans should have told him, man, go home. I don't want to use the F and K words, man. They should have told this guy, please pack and go. You're asking the electorate, nitadu? Sincerely? Oh, 2 billion being stolen every day? Really? Stone PK would have been a better president. I can tell you, because for me, ukinishinda, I hang you. It's part of African politics. Simple. Ilianza na makina Kijiketele na wale wengine. Richi, ukikuja ukinipa kompe moja deadly, unaishia. Watu wana riot.
So Stone, let me ask you a question. So, are you blaming Uhuru?
Uhuru is useless. He has sold this
Okay,
country.
no problem. No problem.
Yes.
Uhuru is useless. He is the cause of all this. Now, are you blaming him?
I mean, what? Yes, I am pushing. I'm pushing a lot of blame on him. He made
No, so your
storing of our
submission,
passports. Ali Maiden, the bombers activity was done when Uhuru was the chief and the president of this country, and he
but
went.
you are contradicting yourself. Already, you have said that he was never president.
Wacha we Alex, umetupa, wachana na hiyo. Nimekuambia.
Actually, why
president.
I'm asking the question is,
yes, Pogo.
Why I'm asking the question is, Uhuru ukiangalia his tendencies na vile amekuwa akirun his operations, everything,
Yes,
the loss of the election, hiyo election vile ilienda ilikuwa ni culmination ya tabia ya Uhuru. Everybody knew him to be a soft guy, even hata yeye kukuwa nominated ku run for presidency in 2013, he was a stooge. He was doing it for hao watu wenye walikuwa wako behind him. I think for Mount Kenya. So it's not like sasa tutaanza kuja kumblame. Yeye alikuwa anatumika especially na Ruto, because there is no way Ruto could stand in 2013 and win this thing. He had to bring somebody in, prepare himself well, so that when he comes in, it's just one shot bullseye. And he did it. So let's not blame Uhuru. Uhuru has been true. Ni kama Karen Nyamu. Karen Nyamu tumejua tabia yake before akuwe nominated. Sasa hizi amekuwa nominated, ameendelesha tu vile true colors zake, sasa wanataka kumtoa. Let's not blame Uhuru.
Sawa bro, what I'm saying, unajua sasa tukianza kuleta literature na semantics, then we go into that line. But the truth of the matter, Uhuru was the president, and I would say in quote, of the country called Kenya, and he's the one who handed over the mantle to Ruto. And then over to Alex, it is, I'm not contradicting myself. I'm saying Uhuru was the president. He maidened, Ali witnessed the birth of a thief taking over the country. So I don't see where I'm contradicting myself. It is very clean. And it is because, one, he had no control of this country since 2013, when he was put in as a president. He never won any election. That everybody knows. So from 2013, that is when Kenya sank into the deepest hole that it cannot come out. And I want Kenyans to stop debating.
PK, maybe I don't know English. When you say he was not in control.
Yeah, but he was the president.
When you are not in control, then you are not the president. The person who is in control is the president.
Okay, sawa. Basi hapo English ni shida. It depends on the schools we attended. Now, this president was there, but he was a stooge. Maybe that English might be simpler. He was a stooge. And there is nothing that went in this country. Uhuru, by the way, anything he signed, it was sanctioned by Ruto. When you have a woman in your house who you call your wife,
misleading people, Bana.
And he calls you an idiot, when your wife calls you an idiot in the house, you can't say you are in control of that house. Wacha nipoza hapo, Kenyan wants to talk. Before
I think you're misleading. Not really misleading. You're very right in what you're saying, but also misleading people at some point.
How?
Because it's very unfortunate that you feel like Uhuru never did anything. Uhuru had nothing to do. Uhuru was the president of the Republic of Kenya. When you say, when you apportion blame on Uhuru, I think it's really very wrong. And then what you're asking, basically what you're saying, Stone, and for the first time, I never disagree with you, because I'm on the boat. I'm on the same boat with you in where you think our country needs to go. But on this one, I'm unfortunately going to disagree with you. Because what you're doing, you're also asking that the fact that this man was the president, however he got there, he was the president at the time. But you're apportioning something that he should have done something. I don't know what, I think we all know, but I don't know what you're trying to say that he should have done to make the election end up a different way. Now, we all know that Ruto did not win. But again, when you come out like that, is like just because he was the president, was a sitting president, has to make the other person that is coming be the president. And I think that's the biggest problem that we have in our country. That is, two wrongs don't make a right, my brother. Two wrongs don't make a right. So assuming Ruto actually was winning or won, we know he'd never won. But just because you're the president, what did you want him to do? Hold on. Let me finish. Ndio ninyamaze, mimi nanyamaza nikitoka hapo. Because where we are moving into a country and where we want to move is to where everything is genuine. Now, we are fighting a wrong that Ruto did ya kutumia kina Chebukati on the last day. Then we are here saying that also Uhuru should have done something. So, does two wrongs make a right? No. Now, my biggest thing, and I know I'm going to get hit on this one, is that when do we end up to where that we don't need the sitting president, or we don't need Chebukati for elections to be won fair and square? I think that's where I am, and that's where I'm going to stand. I'm not going to stand to where Uhuru should have, could have, or Chebukati did and wanna. I want us to really think about our country. Where do we get to a point where that if I go to an election with Stone PK, Richie, Guru, Alex, the person that wins fair and square. It doesn't matter if the president is there, and it doesn't matter the IEBC leader or whatever. How are we going to do this? Now, does this take a tribunal like we are going? What does it take for us to really go to a fair election? That's all I'm asking. Hizi zingine za Uhuru, whatever, hata Putin, whatever, Biden, I don't care. I want us to have a good election where we can know someone has won fair and square. The country is good. We don't have to fight. Hakuna kitu ingine, hakuna kinautu vitu vingine tunakuja. That's all I'm saying. Richie, sorry.
Safi, Kenyan with peace. Endelea, Stone.
Let me try to educate some of our people.
Wengine hatujaongea hapa for long.
Yeah, Alex, nikimaliza utakuja. Wacha
unajua Alex, kama uko kwa giza namna hiyo hakuna mtu anakuona, hatujui umeinua mkono saa hii ama umeinua nini. Lakini that's wacha kwanza Stone pick.
Wacha nimalize Alex, nitakupa time. Hamna shida.
Naweza kuwa umeinua mkono na hatujaona.
Yeah.
Okay, sawa, Stone pick, endelea.
Yeah,
Alex. Kama anaweza kuwa ameinua mguu.
Okay. With all due respect, the panelists, and then my brother Mato, I mean Kenyan with love. African politics, ama uongozi wa nchi za Kiafrika. The theories that ndugu yangu Kenyan with love anajaribu kuweka kwa akili, they never work. Sijui Uhuru, what would Uhuru have done and all that. Kenyan with love, Uhuru was the chief executive of the country by the time we were going into election. Angeangusha hiyo sword chini, hapo ndio Kenya ingeenda. If you didn't know that. He is the one who held the country. Angesema nchi ichomeke, ingechomeka. For your information. As a president, sitting president, you have all the powers, constitutionally and constitutionally, you have all the powers to decide where and what you want to happen in your country. I know people will say, oh, democracy and all that. In Africa, the sitting president, and this is where Kenya has failed, and it is so unfortunate, Kenya will disintegrate into something. 5 years later, wandugu zangu, tukiwa tutakuwa tunakutana kwa TV, mtakuwa mnasema Stone PK talked about this. Kenya is disintegrating at a certain fast rate that you will not believe. Mutakuwa mkisema once upon a time this was happening. And I'm telling those people who are born in 1990s, they don't know it. Because the 24 years we had the rule of Daniel Arap Moi, it reduced Kenya to the day we got independence in 1963. 24 years watered everything, every gain that this country had had. It destroyed everything that you would want to talk about, from education to health to social fiber to tribalism. It dismantled country called Kenya. That is when we started. Mtu akiongea akisema jina yake mimi naitwa Stone PK, unamuuliza anatoka wapi? Not because you just want to know just because you want to know where you want to place him, how you want to approach him. That is when we call the disintegration of our country. We disintegrated in 24 years. Kenya was never a country, a nation. And up to today, Kenya is never a nation, and it has never been a nation. Now, when we talk of Uhuru as the president, he had the mandate to say what I'm seeing is garbage. He had the mandate to say Chebukati or whoever, hii kitu unafanya ni ujinga, and I don't want to hand over power to mediocrity. Mungefanya nini? Uhuru angesema hizi votes, kwa nini mumeacha kuhesabu on day 4, on day 3? Why is the media not transmitting? Why wouldn't Uhuru question that? You mean he had no power to ask IBC, Chebukati, summon him to State House under the glaring whatever of the cameras, and as a president and CEO say, what I'm seeing is nonsensical. Please up your skills and try to do what is justice to Kenyans. Mr. Kenyan, I see you have disappeared. All those who are listening to us, didn't Uhuru have power to say, if you are streaming this thing from day 1, day 5, why are you stopping to do this? Kwa nini mume stop? Why am I hearing this? Nani alikuwa na who was the overall supervisor, the trustee of the people of Kenya? Alikuwa nani? It was not Chebukati. It was Uhuru Kenyatta. If this country ingeungua, it was the CEO, not Chebukati. So Uhuru made all the garbage, all the nonsense. At one time, Raila is leading. Then it is changed. Then everything goes into blackout. Nobody reads anything. Then you don't want me to say the CEO of the country he had time to even say, please, hii game is topiwe. We have to start afresh. Who would have hanged him? He had all the power to make sure that things were going the right way. Who tells you that the president can't summon the IBC chairman and tell him, wacha ujinga? He had all the power. But unfortunately, him who being who he is, not a leader, not a whatever, is just a Kenyan, mtu wa kawaida, alikuja akapewa uongozi, mlevi wa kawaida, kama wale wengine. And that's it. That's how he gambled with the Kenyan, and Kenyans are now in this S because of his carelessness.
Stone PK, at the risk of being thrown out by the at the risk of being thrown out.
Mato,
let me finish.
It's a question.
No, hold on.
Why would you be
Let's
thrown
don't
out?
finish alafu tuende kwa
Let me
Alex
finish.
hajaongea.
No, ni question tu, ni question Richie. Question ya kitu anasema saizi. If I don't ask right now, I'll forget.
Alafu utauliza.
Utauliza baadaye.
Iko kwa mahali anasema saizi, please don't. Nani? Richie, tafadhali. If I don't ask right now, it won't make any sense if I ask you later.
Ask.
Okay, don't you think if he would have meddled with that election and there was a tribunal like we're having today, that he would have been indicted to come and answer why he meddled with it? Maybe the tribunal that is happening right now, it could have maybe messed up something. So don't you think that maybe it could be a long-term thinking that he did not have to meddle with it because he would have... Yeah,
I get you, Mato, brother Kenyan with love. The tribunal would be questioning why the president did what he did to put Kenya in the right track. And we are happy to have that tribunal even for 100 or 1,000 years, questioning why Uhuru had to put Kenya in the right track. Did I answer your question? It would take whatever it is, but he did what he did to ensure that Kenya did not land into the hands that he had assured us. Hawezi patiana nchi kwa mwizi.
Stone PK.
When did that change?
Stone PK. In the interest of time,
yes,
because
sir.
I'll come back to you. I want Alex Ataya Onge. In the interest of time, okay. In the interest of national security and peace and stability and harmony in a country, the president might decide to summon the IBC chair. I mean, that's just my observation. If you're the president, if you're the sitting president na uone ya kwamba hii kitu inaweza leta balaa, you are seeing funny things zinaendelea, election counting inasimamishwa kwa siku karibu 3, like a concerned president who is the commander in chief, who is charged to ensure that the country remains stable. Why couldn't you even, question why these things are happening? Even questioning, wacha tu isemekane walisikia ukiuliza ni nini inaendelea. Lakini hiyo nyumba inaitwa State House imenyamaza karibu wiki 2. Ile kitu tunaona the final place, tunaona Chebukati ni akiita mabishops. Sijui kama umesikia bishop wa ACK alisema aliitwa na Chebukati kwa maombi aende kumuombea kabla kwenda kutangaza uchaguzi. Kwa hivyo hata nyinyi watu mlikuwa mnangojea pale Bomas of Kenya, already akina bishop huyu anaitwa nani huyu wa ACK, already walikuwa wanajua uchaguzi nani amekuwa declared winner. So Chebukati had the guts to call the bishops waende kumwombea kabla aende kutoa hiyo foolscap yake moja apeane matokeo, na nyinyi mnangoja huko ati mnahesabu kura.
Anyway,
Ole Sapit amesema hapa already alikuwa ameenda kuombea Chebukati kwake, sijui ni 1 day ama 2 days before the election was announced. So hii vitu hii mingi tunapiga kelele hapa, hii kitu wachana naye. Wacha hii kitu ilienda nani, wachana nayo kabisa. Alex, si nimeona umewakisha taa tena umezima bana. Wewe huko kwa ndege.
Makiadi, nitakuonyesha mahali niko.
Ni sawa, ni sawa. If you are not okay, ni sawa, endelea.
Yeah. In 2007 wakati kura ziliibiwa, mtu ambaye alipigana akakasirika, akaenda kwa magazeti. And you could see that he was the man that was fighting alone. Ilikuwa William Samoei Ruto. Na walikuwa na beef mbaya sana na Martha Karua. Anakumbuka wakati kura zilianda kabisa, wakataka kwenda kotini, baba akampoesha kidogo. At one time Kibaki akasema kitu kimoja ambacho najua ndio kimeleta shida katika country yetu. Kibaki alisema muliiba na sisi tukaiba. Nani aliwaambia msiibe nyingi? I think that statement changed Ruto. From that time, I think Ruto came to understand elections are not won. Elections are taken. Now, ulikuwa ukiongea ukigive submission. Stone pia give submission. Something came to me. Wakati 2013, Baba was supposed to run with Ruto. Ruto alikuwa ameenda Nakuru kuona Kulei. Kidogo hivi Kutunyu akamchukua kwenda wapi? Kwenda kwa Uhuru. Na hiyo maneno ikaisha huko. And it became apparent that Ruto became very powerful because he was the kid on the block. So by the time Ruto administration ilianza ya 2013, I believe he was the president. So Ruto has understood the art and science of not being voted for looking for people to make sure that he is declared as the president. So I think we have been making a mistake of going to vote, whereas Ruto is not thinking about that. That's the trajectory that I'm looking. Ruto has never thought of going into the ballot to win. He has always known that he's going to the ballot to be declared. So that's what I got from what we were talking. So in that context, Ruto has always been the president, no matter what. That is what I think. Thank you so much.
Thank you Alex, and umeongea ukweli kabisa, umeongea ukweli. Mimi nakwambia hivi, hii uchaguzi tunafanyanga Afrika hii uchaguzi tunafanyanga Afrika, wacha tuseme tu tunaendaga kupiga kura, lakini hakuna uchaguzi.
Makiadi, when in 2013, when he looked at Raila and he looked at Uhuru, he found out that Uhuru was weak, and what he made sure that he gave huyu mtu pombe throughout. I'll make sure amempea pombe throughout so that he could become powerful. That's what I think.
Alex, nimekubaliana na yeye. Hiyo kengele sijui ni ya gas station ama ni nini. Kwani umefungua gas station? Na utuambii.
Alex alikuwa airport. Alikuwa kwa gas station.
Shangaa kwani ako kwa gas station ama namna gani? Haya, sawa sawa. Public participation naona amekuja hapa, lakini mniruhusu hata kama hamtaki kusikia juu ya hii, lazima nicheze hii moja. This one hii Stone PK, hata kama ikufurahishi, mimi lazima nicheze hii tu peke yake, alafu tupatie public participation nafasi ya kuongea.
Why do you call yourself a Reverend Mutembei?
Through I've been ordained as a reverend.
Are you an ordained? At times you call yourself a bishop. Are you Reverend Bishop?
I've never referred to myself as a bishop, and I'm ordained reverend through the ordainment of Bishop through the ordainment of Bishop Eric Mwangi, Newbridge City Chapel.
Did you attend theology class?
Essentially, I'm a theologian.
Did you attend theology? Do you have a theology degree?
No. Through the chair, I don't have a theology degree.
You call yourself a security expert. Mm-hmm. What are your professional credentials to be a security expert?
I have served in the security field.
Do you have a degree in security studies?
Essentially,
I'm saying, do you have a degree in security studies?
No.
Do you have a security in military science?
I have certifications for the same.
Do you have a degree in military science?
I have not served in military. I have certifications of the same within my areas of professional background.
So again, you have not served in any military?
I have served in organizations that offer the services for the last 15 years.
Have you served in the military, Ndumbi? Are you an officer? Have you served in the military as an officer?
I have not served in the military as an officer, but I have done operations with militaries.
Ndumbi, I'm asking you questions. Don't ask yourself your own questions. You call yourself governance expert. Again, have you studied governance in the university?
No, I have not.
Have you studied law?
No, I have not.
What degree do you have, Reverend? Do you have a university degree?
Essentially, I have a certification from the security field.
No. I'm saying, do you have any university degree?
Once you understand the rankings within...
Reverend, I'm just
allow
asking
me to
you.
answer through the chair.
No. Do you have a university degree?
I have security certifications within my field.
Chairman, I'm just asking a simple question. Do you have a university degree? Anything?
Yeah, so that we can make progress.
No. Yeah. Do you have a university degree?
Unasikia hii maneno PK. Mimi huyo jamaa asikuje hapa Mutembei. Hatutamkubalia hata kuongea hapa. Hatoshi.
Matiadi, unataka nikulale. You want me to go and sleep.
Huyo jamaa hatoshi hata kuja kupeana maoni yake kwa hii station.
Matter of fact, we deserve apology from Citizen TV for hosting him time and again on Citizen. We deserve an apology.
My brothers. Huyu jamaa ndio tuna security expert, sijui governance expert, sijui anasema kuna certification, anaulizwa mwai.
Hiyo maswali ni kwa ile hiyo tribunal.
Yeah, you know, when a lawyer does that, he's trying to discredit the person who is bringing a petition. So they are trying to destroy and kujaribu kumfanya asionekane ni kama credible witness.
He's not an authority to deconstruct.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, you people, you have to forgive me if I ask you this foolish question. This is the famous Itumbi.
Yeah, that is the guy mwenye unasikia ni security expert. Ukiangalia TV inaitwa sijui TV.
No. Itumbi anaitwa Ndumbi. Anaitwa Ndumbi.
That is not Dennis Itumbi.
That is
different people.
He's called Dennis Ndumbi. He's Dennis Ndumbi, but not Itumbi. Dennis Ndumbi.
He's Dennis Ndumbi. Okay.
Now,
Itumbi has an eggy head.
Yeah, so this guy.
Yes, I've seen the Itumbi somewhere, so I was going to ask. So this guy is the one testifying against the Chideras.
Ngoja Guru.
That's Maria there.
Ngoja Guru.
Pogo, you are right. That is not Itumbi. Itumbi has that head you have described.
So yeah. So ngoja Pogo. Sasa ile kitu iko, this guy is one of the petitioners wenye wamepeleka kesi ya kutoa the Cherera Falls. Now this guy has been masquerading kwa TV station. Hata sasa ukifungua TV yako utampata hapo, ni governance expert, unamkuta KTN huko ni security expert, unamkuta mahali pengine sijui ni legal analyst. Sasa anaulizwa na huyu lawyer wa Masit, wewe unajitanga security expert, ni wapi ulienda kusomea military science? Anasema kuna certifications in areas zenye ameserve. Okay, let's assume amekuwa security officer. Unajua security officer is a broad term. Unaweza kuwa ule wa gate, unaweza kuwa kulinda nchi, unaweza kuwa
G4 ni
hata
sawa.
G4S, hiyo ndio naita ya gate. Sitaki kutumia jina, unajua utakuwa unaharibia watu majina. So huyu mtu anaweza kuwa amesimama kwa gate ya mtu kwa miaka 15 and he's calling himself an expert. Ndio hiyo, kila siku ukimwona kwa TV anaenda kupeana maoni venye yeye ni governance expert. Sasa anaulizwa, wewe ni governance, uko na degree? Hii ni kitu rahisi sana Julia. Kama uko na degree sema uko na degree. Kama hauna sema hauna. Hakuna mahali utapeleka.
Yes. I have certificate. Do you have a degree? I have certificate.
But Makiadi, you know that is a true description of a hustler. You do not see obstacles.
No.
Opportunities.
That's a fraudster.
You see opportunity.
No.
That's a fraudster and a
No.
Today,
Guru.
Let me finish.
Okay,
Today, if I think it will fit me to say I am a security expert and make a living, so be it. Tomorrow, I'll be a governance.
You are a liar.
A governance expert.
You are a liar.
Who is a liar?
Ni mambo ya kubadilisha kinyonga sababu unajua the end result, the bottom line here is to make a living.
Guru,
it's a hustler's life.
Let me stop you there.
Kwa sababu
wacha tutamaliza hii. Guru, we cannot use this forum. We cannot use this forum to sanitize fraud. Hatutatumia hii forum ku sanitize fraud. That guy is a fraudster. A fraudster is a person who says what he is not. He is pretending to be what he is not. That guy is a fraudster.
And
Na ametumika na UDA ku bring down the Masite and the Chereras, thinking alikuwa credible. Alikuwa nafikiria kizungu mingi huwa anaongea kwa TV kila wakati, hatapata mtu ambaye atai-question, na amepatikana sasa. Huyu mtu hata tukiangalia credentials zake, hata hiyo shule anasema, unasikia anasema aliodainiwa kwa gorofa hapo sijui na Bishop nani hapo, Kamau ama nani. Anasomea hapo town OTC Plaza, akapatiwa certificate, anajiita reverend at ordained Bishop sijui Njenga ama ni Guru, ulimpatia certificate. That guy is a fraud. Unamtetea hivyo, we will investigate.
Sijamtetea, nimesema the mindset of a hustler does not see obstacles, it sees opportunities. Aliona kuna opportunity kwa sababu when you go to a media station, you are never asked to produce papers to show that you are an expert in the area that you claim to have expertise in. So he saw an opportunity, and you never know, maybe he was even being paid to go and talk as a governance expert, as a security expert, as whatever he was labeling him in. He's a hustler.
But Guru, the way you are talking is like when you put in opportunity and obstacles as if there is morals involved. There is none.
So where do you draw a distinction?
There are no morals. There are no morals in hustling, my friend. There are no morals in hustling.
All right, Guru. All right.
The bottom line is the sharing at the end of the day.
Guru, you have to know where to draw a distinction, to draw a line between scams and hustlers. Ama unatuambia a scam is a hustler, because this guy is a scam. He's a fraud.
Go and read the real definition of a hustler.
No, I'm putting it into context. No. Leave the Stone PK. I'm putting this into the Kenyan context. These guys nimeona kwa TV, and there's another one also. Nitawatajia hapa. Kuna jamaa mwingine anajitanga Benji Ndolo ama nani, who is all over the media. Is also another scam. There's a guy that was deported from the USA. Squeezy yako kwa media all over talking about how UDA is doing very well. All these guys wenye wako kwa UDA, and they fit very well in that, because these are scams. Ni wa scam wote na wako nyumbani. Wacha nipatie public participation kwanza. Najua hii yenu haitaisha. Public, karibu.
Kwanza public, congratulations, leo tumekuona ukiwa full. You're so beautiful.
Imagine we have been seeing shadows. Only the eyes, but now we can relate. We can see the whole package.
This government bwana Uhuru, hata yeye jichunge sana, chunga bwana. Utakuta kanyotu kwa mlango yako anangojea wewe. Don't joke with this government. Hii ni government ya Moi bwana. Lazima unaona vyenye nani anafanyanga yule jamaa mwenye ajaiweka picha yake, because tunaelekea huko bwana. Sooner than later itakubaki tu akina Makiati ndio wanaweza ongea hapa. Sisi wengine wenye tuko loko tutakuwa na shida. So mimi nataka kusupport Stone PK. What Stone PK is saying, that in this country tunapendanga denial. We are living in a state of denial. Kama mtu aliharibu nchi, Uhuru aliharibu nchi. I don't know why I want to sanitize that guy kwa sababu anasema alisupport baba. This guy, ile loans yenye majority of the loans which we have been left imechukuliwa na yeye. Kwani imechukuliwa na nani mwingine? Kwenda kujenga hii SGR yenye inaenda the middle of nowhere. Hata saa hii haifanyi, kama haifanyi. Who did that? Is it Ruto who did that? Who did it? It is nani? So let's learn as Kenyans, yani, to take the responsibility. To give the person the responsibility. Ile unaona kama sasa Moi ile yenye alikufa, kila mtu anakuja anampongeza, he was the best, he was this, he was that. Sasa akina Koigi Wamwere na wengine wakikama au wasema mtu alikuwa mbaya, everyone is like, ai, kwa nini unaongea vibaya about Moi? Na Moi ndio ameharibu nchi, kwani wewe spoiled this country more than Moi? Moi ndio ameharibu, now followed by Uhuru, and then followed by Asla. Surely, let's call a spade a spade. Na mimi ile tunapendanga Stone PK, it doesn't mean towards them, it's not politically correct. Hii nchi shida yenye tuko nayo na huyu Hasla sahi hatungekuwa nayo kama nani angekatalia kupeana. Kwa nini angepeana kwa ami ama apeane kwenye atapeana? But since the day when they were sworn in, Hasla ndio amekuwa in control of the whole thing, ndio amekuwa in control of the government, kwa sababu nani alikuwa busy huko na mastarehe zake na ulevi. The person who was in control, it was none other than nani, it was none other than Hasla. Na hii kusema ati the last minute ndio sasa amekuja akapata akatafutwa na Ruto, that's not true. From what I hear, Hasla alienda pale papers zinaprintiwa for a good 3 months. He was and several times anaenda huko, so he was in control. And then there were people who were in IDC who walikuwa nalipwa mshahara na Ruto for 3 years to be able to fix, kwa sababu unajua kufix election is not a one day thing, it is something which takes time. Sasa for 3 years huko unakula mshahara yako na the same or more is also being paid by Hasla. Usifikiria ati nani amecompromisewa sahi. Who knows, even maybe he was threatened with death. So what I'm telling you is that Hasla amekuwa in control of the situation, and that's why alikuwa nasemanga very openly ati nani ataniibia kura mimi, as in to just say in a nice way that I'm the one who has been killing the kura, so how is it now that I'm the one mwenye ataibiwa kura? Haiwezekani, unaona. So this guy had compromised IDC officials for minimum of 3 years. Alikuwa amewacompromise, and then ile kwenye chief alikuwa ADC, he made sure that all the strategic places alikuwa ameemploy watu yake, so that in case of anything vitu ziende nywe. So hii kitu sio kitu yenye while Uhuru alikuwa analala hapo hivyo na Raila pia alikuwa amelala, nani alikuwa amejipanga from long time ago. It's not now.
Sasa unaona ile kitu mmefanyia public participation, Guru, mmefanya public participation atoroke mkiwa na Stone PK. Kwa watu wanaitisha link hapa, lakini tunataka kufunga jameni.
Hapana, wapatie Makiadi, wapatie.
Unajua, endelea public, yeah, go on.
Yeah. So guys, you see, when you're a president, you are supposed to be in control of the country. But me, what I can blame, first of all, I can blame Kenyans for voting for this group, because she did ilianza immediately when Ruto entered in, and we were not expecting anything different. So what I can tell you is that musishinde hapa hivi mkijaribu kusanitize Uhuru. Uhuru is another one who was totally not in control. Alikuwa kwa pombe zake or whatever he was doing. Meanwhile nani ako huko behind the scenes and sort from the word go. That guy alianza campaign almost immediately. The guy has been on campaign for 9 years. At least you are part of that popularity. Hata kama ataiba, isikuwe that is not popular. Unaona? Then behind the scenes hapo kwa IBC analipa watu ya IBC strategic people wanalipa for 3 years mshahara, monthly salary. You guys. Sasa unafikiria. So me, all what I can tell Kenyans is that let's stop sanitizing this president. Our president wametuletea starting from even Kenyatta himself kuingia watu mashamba, ndio sasa wakaenda hapo wametupwa na huko Rift Valley. Then coming to Moi ameharibu. We could have been the guys who we started this Singapore, sahi wako hapo. Hatuwezi kuwaona. South Korea tulikuwa tunawalend pesa, sasa ndio tunaenda kubed. What is that actually? So Kenyans, let's not lie to ourselves that Uhuru was not in control. He has never been in control of the situation, and the person who knows how things work, who is called Hasla, took full advantage. Akachukua the key posts kama finance, kama energy, walikuwa na watu yake, so that he can use maximum use. Sasa the only thing I can tell you Kenyans, now brace yourself for more, because things are going to can only get worse and worse with the kind of situation better. But we lack na laxity yetu as Kenyans is when we first of all brought this group of Uhuru, because tulikuwa tunachukua nani ajui history ya Uhuru. We know this guy can seriousness ana sasa na unampigia kura kwa nini? Sasa ndio huyu ameingia hapo, ameingia na the international come ndio unajaribu kujifanya like you are trying to take control of the situation. The situation has already unga ishazidi maji. What? I mean, sometimes Kenyans, So me, I'm supporting Stone PK. Na mtu asikuja hapa anza kuambia Stone PK, so why are you blaming Uhuru? Uhuru was supporting. Wacha nikwambie, Uhuru kama angekuwa kweli in very right mind, hangepea hii serikali kwa Ruto. If he was in his very right mind, hata kama ameshinda ya ukweli, angempea. Because why should you as a president agree to give somebody who you know very well what kind of a character he is? Akuja haribu hii. So, I mean, I'm blaming Uhuru. Uhuru alikuwa na that chance which he could have changed the trajectory of things. Asema hapana, this guy, I don't trust him, and hata kama mmempigia kura, nimepea kwa army. Na hakuna bali mungempeleka. You know, as you say, when you are an African president, you are all omnipotent, you are all powerful. Sasa ndo huyu ametuliza sasa kwa shimo kabisa, the worst of somebody who doesn't care. So, Kenyans, what I can advise you, just press as for this character, anaitwa Doom, ama anaitwa Doom. You can see the type of people who are in this government now. Kama hawa ndio sasa mwenye anaweza enda kupeleka motion against Cherera 4. What kind of a person? Hana hata degree jamani. You know, in Kenya here people buy degree. Hata si ati lazima kuna watu wenye hawajaona classroom na wako na degree. How is this guy not having a degree?
Hata angenunua hizo zote River Road. Hizo.
Tunapanga na in fact majority there are so many people hata hawajai step in anybody's. Kama ule mwenye alikuwa na run for governor of Thika. Ule mwenye aliibia watu.
Hata Zakaja.
Achana na Zakaja kidogo, at least alikanyanga kwa class. There is a guy who is a bishop. Mwenye aliibia watu, alikuwa anafanya something like a sako, alafu akaibia watu hao wadogo. Alikuwa anaitwa, I think ni Pastor Ngure or somebody like that.
Huyo bishop ni wa Guru, wanamjua, ni wa Kiambu. Ako na kanisa kubwa sana hapo Kiambu. Guru anamjua vizuri sana.
Maguta.
Hana hata certificate ya class 7 ile ya kitambo, class 7 hana.
Disclaimer.
Aliuzia Guru hapo, ndiye aliuzia Guru plot.
Makiadi, withdraw that statement. Huyo si mimi sina pastor.
Nimesema ni wa Kiambu. Guru
mimi ninasimama kidete, ni Mkatoliki.
Okay, nimesema huyo pastor ni wa Kiambu, Guru anamjua. Sijasema ni wa Guru, sijasema ni pastor wako
Gakuyo.
Basi
nimekuambia anamjua jina.
Bishop, imagine hana hata class 7 certificate. Ameiba nini ya mtu. Inaitangwa namba, serial number ama nini, ameiba ya mtu. Class 7. Aya, ametoka hapo ameiba KCSE certificate. Ametoka hapo ameenda JQuat. Ameiba diploma, ameiba degree, he is now on hata masters ako naye ya kutoka JQuat. That's the kind of characters we're having in this country, and they are the ones who are running for leadership. Na ndio unaona Dumbi cannot feel anything. Wenda kudanganya watu hapa security expert, security what? Na sasa hizo hata BA yenyewe, Bachelor of Arts sana. So Kenyans is the more drama you can expect from
niko na swali, public participation, kwa nini umechagua Bachelor of Arts peke yake? Hiyo ndio inanunuliwa sana ama
hiyo ndio
niko na Curio Science.
Hiyo ndio rahisi kununua.
Ndio hata ndio watu wananunuanga, wale wamenunua wote wako kwa arts. Wako kwa arts. Sasa ukitaka kununua unanunua before uende kwa accuse watu kwa nini, kwa whatever, and you don't even have hata jamaa pengine hata na diploma. Sasa those are the kind of characters, and the more you can expect from this government, this state government yenye. Anyway, thank you. That's my submission for now.
Aya, Weston PK, sijui uko na mpango gani bana? Unataka kaa hapa mpaka asubuhi?
Unajua watu wana mambo, yani watu wamejam. Sasa tulikuwa tunataka to empty all what we have bana in our chest.
Aya, sasa unajua wewe uko nyuma masaa mawili kutoka mahali niko, so mimi nitakuachia uendelee. Ama unaona namna gani?
Hawa panelists wanasikiaje?
Wataendelea. Hakuna mtu tunafukuza.
Bado tuko.
Wacha niseme jambo alafu
No. Kabla hujasema jambo, ngoja kidogo kwanza. Kabla hujasema jambo, nimeona umetetea hapo hivyo na public participation. It's like tulikuwa tunajaribu kupinga yenye ulikuwa unasema. But seriously, you're absolutely right. Yenye tulikuwa tunasema, also we need to cut some slack for anaitwa nani, Uhuru. Because Uhuru tulimpata akiwa hivyo. Kwanza hata amejaribu, yeye ndo ametupatia the closest chance yenye tulikuwa tuko naye to presidency. Ni itilafu amekuja nazo, ni sisi wenye tulikuja tukarelax, so tulianza kumtegemea yeye. Hata yeye kuanza kuwajibika wake kwa hiyo second term, si ati alikuwa any better, it's only that alikuwa in a better congregation than ile ya kwanza yenye alikuwa kwa ndani yake. So on that regard yeye amejaribu, but yeye alitumika from the get go. Yeah, hiyo nilikuwa nataka kusema.
Okay,
Mimi sikubaliani hata kidogo, sikubaliani.